Let's have a look at accents and see how it affects the pattern. Naturally, jazz is felt in 2 and 4. We mentioned this already. So it would be an obvious thing to do to put an accent on the 2nd and 4th beat of your pattern. This, of course, as we said, is reinforced by the hi-hat in 2 and 4. But if I really play it within the pattern, let's hear how it sounds. For this example, I'll leave the hi-hat out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sounds pretty good. In fact, it fits in very naturally with it. Okay, let's have a look at some of the other beats and see what happens if we accent them. 1 and 3. Of course, this is going to be a no-no, but we still got to know what this is going to sound like. So here's the jazz cymbal pattern, but this time accents on the 1st and the 3rd beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. For me as a jazz drummer, that feels very unnatural and actually quite difficult to do because it seems to go against the flow of the music. That 1 and 3 has a complete counter effect of what we're trying to get to in the loping swing feel of the 2 and 4. Now, I think most people wouldn't play an accent pattern like that. However, I do find that quite a lot of the time that novices to this beat tend to put a little inflection on 1 and 3. Maybe it's because of the music they're coming from, but I also think there's another reason. The other reason is the use of the double. In other words, we have a single and then we have a double within the pattern. Ding, chick, da ding, chick, da ding. And what happens is on the double, it's a technical issue that we pick up to the next beat. And by picking up, the 2nd beat gets accented. Listen. This is something you need to be aware of. It's quite a common thing to happen. So remember, when you're playing those doubles, keep them both very close to the drums. So it sounds like. So don't lift till after you've completed the stroke. And if you do that, it'll take the accents away from 1 and 3, and that is something that's always good. Okay, so we've got one other place we can look at, and that's the pickup note. In other words, on the and. What happens if we play an accent on the and? How does it sound? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. It actually sounds quite okay. In fact, one of the greatest drummers of all time, Elvin Jones, played an inflection on that beat a lot of the time. He played 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and. Because the physical effect of playing an accent on the and of a beat, on the and of 2 or the and of 4, has a push effect. It feels like it's moving forward into the next beat. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3. And this is important, and one of the qualities that we're looking for in terms of the forward motion of keeping the rhythm moving smoothly. Another thing that's really going to affect the sound, and I mean as in the sound, is the way you hold the sticks. I know it seems like drums 1, 1, 1, but holding the sticks has a huge knock-on effect to the overall sound you get from the drums. So, if you hold your stick tight, you're going to choke the sound. If you hold it loose, it's going to open. And in general, we're looking for a more open sound, a more legato, round sound. So loose grip is very important. And what I'd like to do just to demo is I'm going to play the jazz right cymbal pattern with a tight grip and then with the loose grip. And when you hear the huge difference. Now, of course, I'm going to exaggerate for effect. I'm really going to overhold it and then I'm going to hold the stick very loose. But there are grays within that. So it's very important that you make sure you have a nice loose grip and that your hands, or the way you're holding the stick, do not get in the way of your sound. Okay, let's have a listen. First of all, I'm going to play this jazz ride cymbal as normal, and then I'll tighten the grip. Okay, I'm going to tighten the grip now. Keep control of the sound. Loosen it. Tighten the sound. Back again. So you can see the big difference. Now this cymbal is quite a dry cymbal anyway. If you have a cymbal that has a lot more, say, body, or has a lot more, ring about it, it'll really affect that when you tighten the grip. So let's have a look at a little summary. Placement of your pickup note, where you put your accents, and how you grip. Now those are very important parts in how your jazz cymbal beat's going to start. Now remember, this is just Jazz 101. This is nothing to do with variations. This is nothing to do with jazz independence. This is nothing to do with how you're going to play with an ensemble, how the whole thing is going to work. There's an awful lot more. In fact, there's millions more factors that are going to make your sound work or not work. But these ones that we're talking about today are just the essentials. So get out a classic record, Kind of Blue, Miles Davis, everybody has it. Put it on. Listen to the way Jimmy Cobb plays that cymbal time. Play along with it. Don't worry about playing any coordination. Just play along with the cymbal. Just play along. Hear how it feels like to play with a bass player who's playing 4 beats in the bar. See how the time feels together. Think about the placement of the pickup notes. Think about the accents. Think about your grip. These are all essential factors in making a good jazz ride cymbal. Now, in the next video, what I'd like to do is have a look at some of the accompanying roles of the jazz ride cymbal. In other words, the snare drum, the bass drum, and the hi-hat, and how they work and how the whole thing fits together. So until then, thanks.